Today I'm going to be showing you one of the most overlooked guns in Call of Duty Cold War, and I admit I overlooked it too. I initially was going for Dark Ether, then Dark Matter, then level 1000, and the GROZA is the weapon that I passed over to get Dark Matter because I only had to do 5 out of 6. And going back to it, it's actually meta. I mean, I would actually consider this to be one of the top tier weapons. It is the mid-range weapon. The downside is to actually fully utilize it, you're going to need gunfighter. And I'm going to show you the setup for this gun. So the optic, I'm actually going for level 1000, so I just don't have all the challenges done for this one. You're just gonna pick the optic that you like best. The Microflex has a very good field of view. Probably would go with the Microflex or the Iron Sight, but since you're using Gunfighter anyway, you might as well just go with the Microflex. For the muzzle, we're going to be running the KBG Eliminator for the vertical recoil. Now this thing does have a little bit of recoil, but when with this setup, you're going to eliminate the vertical recoil, which really helps it be very easy to manage the recoil. Like, you shouldn't really be missing shots. But the nice thing is the setup that I'm going to show you allows you to miss a couple of shots. It's not that big of a deal. It fires so fast that it's kind of forgiving on its shots. Like, you can miss a couple. Now, for our barrel, we're going to run bullet velocity and effective damage range. Now, this is more for the effective damage range, but the bullet velocity is a nice bonus. We do lose 4 in sprinting movement speed, not that big of a deal. Aim walking movement speed would be nice to have, but the downside of this gun, if you don't run this one, is it becomes like a solid mid-range gun. This allows it to still put in work kind of comparative to the AK, which is pretty sweet. It is a lot better at the mid-range, but this allows it to go and actually fight longer engagements, especially once you manage the recoil and you can just keep it right on point, which is not that hard to do. Still would not be fighting snipers across the map on a large map. It is a mid-range gun. This just allows you to be highly effective at like the max distance in a mid-range engagement. Alternatively, they do have this one, which is pretty sweet as well, because there is no downside, 25 and 25. But I kind of feel like I really like that 100% effective damage range. So I'm going to take the hit on the aim walking movement speed. So for our sight, I'm going to take a little hit on the sprint to fire since I'm using this more as a full mid-range gun and adding in a little bit on the reveal distance. Alternatively, you could just put a little bit of hip fire with no negative. Um, I kind of feel like the reveal distance. This is what I like. So the underbarrel, obviously, we need to manage this recoil. So we're gonna have to take the hit on the shooting movement speed, which sucks because it's negative 26, but it's not that big of a deal. This is more of a post-up weapon like the AK. So we got to get that recoil manageable, and this actually allows us to do it combined with our eliminator. Now, our magazine, this is one of the ones that we can actually run the full mag. It's really good at suppressive fire, and as long as you're running scavenger, you will be fine on ammo. And like, you can really put some people in check and make them think twice before popping their head back out, because you can let a couple bullets fly and you got a few more. Now, alternatively, you could just run the 40 round drum and have a faster aim down sight time. Personally, I like the faster reload. I like to be highly aggressive with this gun. I would love to have the ability to run danger close and this setup, but that's not possible. So I run scavenger and I run the 50 and the fast mag, and I can let bullets fly. Now, we do need to make back up that aim down sight time. Can't have it being too slow raising the sight. So we do need the GRU elastic wrap. Bonus is you actually get a little bit of flinch resistance too. So if you take a bullet, you can just keep your recoil on point. Now, for the stock is a lot less important. We don't want any hip fire penalties in case we do have to hip fire. The hip fire on this gun is on point with all the other ARs, so it's actually pretty sweet. So we're just going to make up a little bit on sprint to fire time and put this in a... You could also alternatively go and make back up your aim walking movement speed. I don't really do as much of this as I do more sprint to fire. So I went with sprint to fire, but depending on your playstyle, I would put one of these two. You don't want to be really... you could lose the hip fire accuracy and just actually make it all mid-range. I mean, it's up to you how you want to play this. I really like the hip fire when I do want to use it, just to turn a corner and just hip fire them. But I would either run the KBG pad, the marathon stock, or the tactical stock. Personally, I'm going with the marathon stock, but after I just did a few test games with this gun, straight deleting people at mid range, like but the KGB pad is a definite alternative if you don't hip fire that often. But just keep in mind, like, it is mid range. I've beat people that had the shotguns, the Gallo, when it was just out of the one-shot kill range. I could kill him easily before he got the second shot off. Now, keep in mind, I think this is like a 5 to 6 bullet kill, but if you land a headshot, it just straight, like, it's so much faster. It's one shot less, and because of how fast it fires and how fast it deletes to begin with, and the recoil is manageable, if you just put like one headshot in while you're hitting them in the chest to the head, they're done. Like, this gun deletes basically everything faster than the SMGs up close and the shotgun as far as mid-range goes. You're going to take out all the other ARs at mid-range. If you can evade a little bit. I was playing Newtown testing this out. Sniper is pretty bad, but I took the sniper out from tower to tower. It's really good. Like, this gun is definitely top tier. People have been sleeping on it, and I admit I slept on it too. But this gun is definitely top tier. Downside is you do need gunfighter to use it. I mean, you could run 5 attachments. I'd have to like really go back and look at it, but to really optimize it for it to be meta, it needs all these right here. It needs the full recoil. It needs the mag. This kind of makes it a suppressive mid-range, deleting mid-range weapon, which is actually really sweet. Because it's actually, because you have to run all these to begin with, for the way you play it, it's actually one of the guns that you get to fire a lot of bullets and you get to run the larger mag with the faster reload. So I really like this gun now. I'm probably going to include it in one of my other classes. And I will later today, tomorrow, be posting my best classes, which have a little bit of everything for every scenario. So regardless of what map you're playing or how you want to play, I have a little bit of something here for like every situation. Pretty cool. I'll be posting that later. But I just wanted to post this right now after going back and playing with this and actually tweaking it and like just watching this gun streak beat everything at mid range. Like as long as as long as you land your shots, you're straight to leading people at mid range, which is it's really sweet. It's the go-to mid range weapon. So I just wanted to definitely get this out there because I know everybody talks about the AK. AK. I mean, it's God tier. It's definitely top tier. But so is the GROZA. And I hope that helps.